Welcome to another episode of A Peek Behind the Lines. I am Tiana Speter, and on today's episode, I am spending some time with a band who will be kicking off their debut headline Aussie run in January. However, none of them are strangers to performing in Australia by any means or performing in general. I have Jordan Buckley and Will Putney from Better Lovers with me today. Gentlemen, thank you for joining me. How are you both?
Great. Thanks for having us.
Well,
Mhm.
as I touched on there, 2026, not that far away now when we're chatting, but it is marking the long awaited live Australian debut for Better Lovers. It is not hyperbole to say that this tour has been on so many of our bucket lists here in Australia since this project first kicked off a few years ago. I mean, obviously, all of you are so well known in the industry and to fans. A lot of people seem to want to call this project a supergroup, but in my humble opinion, I'd much rather call it like a badass celebration of creative cohesion and kind of like a bridge from previous journeys. And it just feels like something entirely its own at the same time. And with that in mind, like, can we momentarily revisit the origin stories of Better Lovers? Because I've read a lot of different stories. I've read that certain member who was going to be in it pursued professional wrestling career instead. Will was on board as producer originally. Greg wasn't sure if he could tap back into it. So can you dispel some of the rumors for me? Like, when did this all kind of solidify and you're like, this is genuinely happening? Let's go.
Not many people know this, but I used to be in another band, and we had a just our breakup was just so much fun. It was I cherish the memories and I think about them often. Um, and as soon as that happened, I don't know. There's just something, and I'm sure Will knows exactly what I'm talking about with if you're a creative person, it's not really the kind of thing you can turn off. Um, and so you play a weird game with timelines when you're in a band because you write something, then you have to record it, then you have to get it made, then it gets put out. And so by the time um people hear it and it's, quote unquote new to them, it could be up to 3 years old for you because, if you look back the first time you wrote a riff on your couch to the release date, it's not crazy to say that it takes 3 years. And so when the every time that I broke up, I was just already ready to keep writing new music because uh every time I die's last record was written and recorded and done before the pandemic. And then so we had to sit on it the entire pandemic. And then it came out, we really only got a good, couple months with it. So to the average listener, we put out a new record and broke up right after that. But to me, I was already 3 years of waiting to write new stuff. So it really just did not, there was really no thinking twice about it. It was just, all right, let's just keep writing, let's just keep writing, let's just keep writing. Yeah, and it was just going to be me, Steve, Goose, and Andy, and then we're going to worry about a singer later. Andy was actually already a professional wrestler, and me and Will have really good stories about the radical writing and recording process because Andy would have to fly and be a professional wrestler every Wednesday,
As you
and
do.
then as one does, and then fly back and just be back at the studio. So it would be so weird because we'd see him on Tuesday and then he'd have to leave a little early. And then we'd see him on TV Wednesday night. And then we'd see him again in person on Thursday. So it was not, uh, I don't really, I think the wrestling industry is a little more, um, puts a little more pressure on you uh in your prime, I guess. And
Mm.
so, whereas musicians, I mean, look at, I guess Rolling Stones are the obvious go-to, like, oh, these guys are 90 and they're still doing it. So, professional wrestlers don't really have that luxury of saying, yeah, I can do it when I'm 90, I can do it when I'm 80. And so, we were very, very supportive of the fact that Andy wanted to um, grab the bull by the horns before it was too late. And so then we took what we had written, me, Stephen Goose, to Will. um, we wrote 4 songs, finished, polished 4 songs, still didn't have vocals. It's not really the most exciting story. Me and Steve went to Las Vegas to kind of drown our sorrows. I think it might have been a bachelor weekend, some sort of a thing, or maybe we were just celebrating because COVID had ended. I forget. We were there for some reason, and so was Greg. And I had done Every Time I Die, I had done a Dillinger tour in about 2005. We'd done Warp tours together. We'd done festivals together. So it was really a nice, just, oh, good to see you again. He was there with Jerry because he tours with Jerry Cantrell. And I just gave him the songs, and it he marinated on them. And when the time was right, he hit me up and said, yeah, let's fucking do this. And then once I'm not trying to speak for Will, but once Greg gave it the green light, Will was like, all right, well, if you still need another guitar player, I literally know how to play all these songs already. So that was really it. And Greg has a lot of side projects that's not new to anyone. He's got Killer Be Killed, he's got Black Queen, he's got solo stuff, he's got Jerry. And I don't know, man. We were just so determined to make it happen. I just did not want to sit around. I did not want to, it's almost like I almost felt like if you're running on a treadmill and you fall off, it's kind of hard to get back on it. And so I just wanted to keep running and keep running and keep running towards something. And Greg was just kind of like, all right, let's fucking go. And yeah, I got a lot of other stuff, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there. And bing bang boom, we're playing our first show like 6 months later.
Damn. Yeah, that's the thing though. It feels like obviously not always positive things have led to where we are now, but it's also just proved the amalgamation is just absolutely magic. I mean, the moment you dropped that first single, I think everyone's jaws collectively dropped. I know everyone around me just had it on repeat and repeat and repeat. And then we move on, like even more recently, like we just got the deluxe version of Highly Irresponsible, including 2 extra new songs for us to feast on just to tide us over till you get here. But let's talk Highly Irresponsible for a moment. Like equal parts feral, sharp, sonically diverse. Like the fact that you have what is basically a power ballad, like with At All Times lying in wait amongst songs that make me want to actually run through a wall. Like it's just a beautiful dichotomy of everything and so much fun. And obviously it's going to translate so well into a live setting. So with all of this in mind, we've got a couple of the new songs that are new to us, and then obviously all the ones that we're all familiar with. But what can we expect when it comes to a set list for these shows? Like, have you guys kind of solidified what you're thinking without giving everything away, or are you going to hold off and wait till after the holidays to make that decision?
Feel like we know. I mean, we play a lot of songs, so it's cool. We leave very few off generally, and we'll kind of rotate the ones that we kick to the curb occasionally, but then they come back. And generally, if you like the band, you're going to get it all. Like I feel like we our sets are hard to play and the riffs are hard and we're jumping around, but I believe in like giving people what they want if you come to a show, and so we kind of try to do as much as we can, so there's you kind of get everything in a good way, but yeah, there's
Yeah,
sets a lot more dynamic than I thought it would be, like when this band kind of started, just all the people that were in the band, and thought we would be doing more of like one thing all the time. And now, like, as the band's evolving, I'm like, oh, it's cool. We have these like moments in the set that move the energy around and stuff. So yeah, it's pretty, you get the whole package, I think.
Hell yes.
Yeah, Australia doesn't get the year when we were touring on like songs that no one had heard of and heard, because like it's kind of it doesn't really happen much now, because with cell phones at every show, if you
Yeah.
play a new song, it's going to be online the next day. And again, it kind of just speaks to the urgency at of our pace that we were working at. Was that, we booked our first tour knowing full well we got 7 songs, 8 songs. We're gonna have a 4-song EP. So like most bands would be like, no, let's wait.
Yeah.
But not us. We went out and we played 4 songs. Half of our set people knew, and half of it we didn't know. We were freaking headlining shows with like 8 songs. We were just that desperate to just play. And so now the fact that we have, about, I don't know, 18 songs that you guys have heard, we play as many of them as we can, because we spent a year playing, like I said, half-hour sets, uh 20 minutes that people knew. Like, so it's really nice. Like during that whole year, it was just like, I can't wait until we play an hour and everybody knows the whole hour. It's going to be so nice to not go from like one crazy song to people standing around wide-eyed with their filming it, because
Yeah.
if you the second you say, hey, here's a song that you've never heard before, people are like, oh, that's phone time.
Yeah, cameras up.
Yeah. So it's really nice to really just make the most of the hour, because you know, we've been through those tours where you know, I'm just repeating myself. We played the songs that no one knows now long enough, so we're excited that we have this much music that people know. And so to repeat what Will said, we want to make sure people get what they come to see. We don't really want people leaving going, you know, I'd like one song and it's the one song you didn't play, that kind of thing. So
Well, especially like,
hopefully that won't happen.
yeah, I mean, we've had long enough to sit with the songs, and I feel like you guys are coming all this way. So it's nice. I feel like there's a mutual understanding here that we're going to get something awesome and we're going to give it back to you guys. And we have, yeah, we should know the songs by the time you're here. So there's no excuse for that. But
Right.
like between both of you, your touring history could fill a couple of books basically at this point, and way more time than I have with you today. But you did mention it briefly earlier, like your first official performance with Better Lovers, like I believe you sold out the Rec Room in Buffalo right around the surprise drop of the debut EP, God Made Me an Animal. Can you like quickly capture those shows for me? Like, are there any notable stories in particular, whether on stage or off, for that show? Like success, was it something you would like to remember?
Mild panic, probably. Fun. Yeah. I mean, it was, you know, going from me, I hadn't been touring for a while, really. So going from like 0 to 10 was pretty stressful off the bat there for me, just to be like, okay, here are guys who have been doing this at a really high level for a really long time. And I'm just showing up out of the studio, you know, like I felt like a lot of that kind of, I've definitely felt that pressure to be like, I need to be good. Like I have to have my shit together here. But it was immediately fun. Like it really was. Even if we like didn't have a perfect first show, or I mean, I'm sure we didn't have a perfect first show, but the energy of Buffalo is just like so unbelievably awesome, you know, for this band. And to see that, like, I mean, I'm not the guy from Buffalo in this band, but just to be able to experience that, especially to watch how you know the other dudes in the band were, you know, kind of re-embraced by their hometown stuff. It was really, really special, you know.
I love that. And I don't think any first show should be perfect. And I don't think any rock show, in my opinion, should be perfect, because that's part of the magic of it. But that's just my opinion.
Of course. Yeah, of course.
Remember there was like one part and it was so hard to play, and I just was practicing it and practicing it and practicing it and practicing it. And I remember when that part came up, a kid just literally grabbed my guitar and threw it out of the way so he could stage dive. And I was like, all right, there goes. I guess I didn't need to stress out about that part. Like it's one of those moments where you know, you're glad to be there, and it, no matter how much you prepare for something, it's never quite as special as the real thing. So it was yeah, it was crazy. And to repeat what I said 2 minutes ago, I just wish we had more songs, because it was like I remember talking before the show, I remember being like, should we just play the set twice?
Yeah, just
Like I
repeat.
can't remember. Yeah, let's just play it twice. But no, it was great. It was great.
Yeah, I don't think anyone would have been mad. They're all banger songs. So, like, at least we know we've got plenty to play with when you're here. And obviously, not a first visit, but we are so excited you are making the very long plane ride out here. And we cannot wait to make a bunch of new Australian memories for you. First, Better Lovers Australian memories. And we just hope that you have a lovely Christmas as well, to have a little bit of time to chill and relax. And we can't wait to get you fresh out of the gates in January, starting January 23rd in Brisbane.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. Love Australia, so can't wait to get back there.
Hell yes. Well, thank you for your time, Jordan, Will, and we will see you down under.
Sounds
We're all
great.
good. I mean,
See
my
you
kid,
soon.
I was supposed to pick him up at school like an hour and a half ago. He's fine now.
Oh my
Oh,
God,
no. Yeah, he'll be all right.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
I have a heart attack. Oh my God. I love it. No, appreciate you guys, and I will see you there.